Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Rags to Riches Challenge. We are currently in December here, so we don't have a ton that we have to do this month. We're mainly just kind of making sure animals have food and keeping our productions running here. But I think I am actually going to do a few contracts this month. We might do a little bit of field work. Don't really need to, but I just kind of feel like doing a little bit of tractor work here. So yeah, we might do a couple cultivating contracts later. And then I'm also going to do another Deadwood contract to get some more wood stocked into our sawmill there. But first, I think I'm actually going to buy a new piece of equipment. We still have this telehandler on sale in the used vehicle tab here, so I think I am just going to buy this one. I know I said, or I know I decided against it in the last episode, thinking that the Merlot would probably be better because it's more versatile with the PTO and the 3-point hitch on the back. And I still think that's true, but I don't know, that is quite a bit more expensive. And I'm thinking because these used vehicles don't really have a lot of risk to them, because we can always kind of repair it and repaint it and resell it and actually make a little bit of money on that. Especially like, because I think that free repair glitch is still happening right now as well. So you'd make even more profit if you were to do that. So yeah, I don't know. It's a kind of relatively cheap way to get us into a telehandler. And I can kind of get used to it, see what it's about. And if I get to the point where not being able to put a weight on the back or not having that PTO is becoming a problem, we can always resell it, make a little bit of money, and then upgrade to the Merlot at a later date. But yeah, in the meantime, this would probably make loading bales a little bit easier. And maybe with some trailer loading, if we really need to stack high. I generally think the skid steer is still kind of better for pallet loading than this would be, just because it's a little bit smaller and more maneuverable. But sometimes we might want some extra reach if we're stacking that trailer high, which we might be doing next month because we do have quite a few products to sell. So it might actually come in handy. So yeah, I don't think there's actually a lot of risk to buying this thing because yeah, we can always resell it, make our money back if we don't like it, or if I decide that I really do want the PTO and the hitch on the back. Then we can upgrade to the Merlot later. But yeah, I do kind of want to save our money to try and invest in more land here. So if we can get into a telehandler for a little bit cheaper, and this would save us probably about $80,000, I think, versus buying the Merlot. So yeah, I think I'm just going to do it. If it's not good, if I decide I don't like it, I can always sell it again later. I think I like these tires for it, and that's pretty much the only option we have on here. So let's just buy it. Okay. Got ourselves a telehandler finally. So let's jump down to the store there and pick it up. Let's take a look at it. Oh, I guess I need forks or something for it as well, eh? Probably not very useful like this. So let's see what our options are for telehandler tools. Okay, so it's actually got quite a few different options for bales here. We have this grabber thing that's for square bales apparently. And then we have kind of a bale fork and two different versions of round bale grabbers. So one of these bale handler things is kind of intriguing, but it says it only goes up to 150 centimeters, and some of my bales are 180s. So I don't think I would actually be able to move all my bales with these things. So I think I'm just going to stick with the forks. I know they work. I might try some other things in the future, but yeah, I think forks are the move for now. Okay, let's get these forks on here and try this thing out. It has quite a bit more range of motion, I think, than the tractor or the skid steer on the forks there, so that's pretty handy. Okay, extend it like that. Okay, that's some pretty good reach. Yeah, not too bad at all. Can really get up there with that thing. Let's see what other options we have here, if anything. Unfold. What does unfold do? Oh, that's kind of neat. Raises the cockpit up. So what's our first person view look like? Nice. That, yeah, that really gives you a better view. Lifting that up like that. That might come in handy. Okay. Let's take her back to the yard here. We are pretty damaged, so let's swing by the store there. We'll get it fully repaired. And then I kind of want to test it out with something. Maybe we'll just throw a little bit of hay in the cattle barn because I think those guys are pretty much out of food. And I think they've eaten through their meadow as well. Okay, let's see if this repair glitch is still going on. So it wants $3,700 to repair it. Yeah, nothing comes out of the account. It's still broken there. So that's kind of nice, but I wish they would fix that at some point. How do I toggle my steering? I should look at that. Control Y. Okay, so that's just front wheel. That crab steering is interesting. Feels like you're drifting. Okay, let's leave it on all-wheel steering for now. Because if we have the telehandler to load, we don't need the John Deere for doing that, so maybe I'll just put the John Deere on the mixing wagon. Because we don't really use this tractor for too much else. So I can probably just leave it there most of the time. We'll just leave it hooked up and use the John Deere to kind of back that wagon in and out of that barn. And use the telehandler to load it. Should work for now for the most part. So we don't need that weight. Okay, we'll hook up to that. We must be full here. Not giving me the option to dump. Yeah. Okay, that barn is full. What's in our trailer right now? Oh, and the trailer's still full as well. That's right, I put extra bales in there last time. So let's grab I want to see how much this telehandler can lift. So let's try 4 bales and see if it can actually do that. Yeah, but I think those cows are out of meadow, so we pretty much have to feed them all winter now, so I don't think it's going to hurt to throw a few extra bales on there. Not that we technically need to feed those cows right now anyway, but I just like to keep them in food. Okay, how do we widen our tines? There we go. All right, first test of the Zoom Boom. Can we lift 4 bales at once? Because we could do this with the John Deere. Okay. That seems to work fine. Yeah, it doesn't really seem to have any trouble with that at all. So, first test is passed. That'll go in there. Okay, that gives them 34,000 food. That should last them a little bit. I haven't really been paying attention to how much these guys eat. They run out of food quite frequently. But we don't really have to worry about feeding them until they're getting closer to their sell point. We can make sure we feed them to get their health up to 100%, but in the meantime, I just like to make sure they have a little bit of food at least. Okay, so that mostly fits into that shed. I guess I could park it sideways and it would pretty much perfectly fit in there. But yeah, most of our stuff is in storage now. If this John Deere and this thing is in there, I brought that bale wagon. I was parking it here for a while, but I brought that back down to our new shed there and managed to fit that in there. So yeah, all of our grassland implements are under storage now. And because I was able to move those out of this shed, there's room to park those tractors under here as well now. So most of this stuff down here is now under storage because that skid steer gets parked in the sheep barn there, or the goat barn. So one of the last things left is this truck and trailers over here. One of the last pieces of equipment that isn't really in storage right now, but that's all right. I might add another shed down here at some point in the future, but so yeah, pretty happy with that telehandler for now, even though I haven't really used it very much to be able to judge too much, but it passed the first test there. I'm sure there's going to be at some point where I wish it had a PTO or something, but yeah, we'll kind of continue to put it through its paces, and yeah, if I'm really kind of missing those extra features, we will upgrade to the Merlot at some point, but if we don't need to, I guess we'll just keep using that one. But yeah, I think I'm going to do a couple of contracts here. I actually have these 3 pretty good cultivating contracts come up, and they are pretty decent for cultivating contracts. I mean, they're still not a ton of money compared to like how much money we are making nowadays, but Yeah, I don't know. Cultivating was one of those jobs I just kind of always found satisfying. And I haven't really got to do very much of it lately. So I think I am going to just kind of bang out these 3 contracts. They shouldn't really take that long. And then we do have another Deadwood contract that came up here for another 7 trees. So I'm just going to accept that one too. And after I do that cultivating, we'll head down and get that Deadwood as well. And that should give us lots of wood in that sawmill. So I think I'm going to hop in the old Agro Star here. We will get hooked up to our disker. And we'll just do a little bit of cultivating. I kind of ran around and checked on everything else already. All of our other animals and productions should be good to go for another month. So yeah, the only other thing we really have to worry about is the Deadwood. So this is the first field that we're going to do here. It's going to be both of these fields. So those ones should be pretty easy. I might actually do these in like one continuous line up and down, basically treat it like one field. And then we have this one over here as well. So none of them are very far away. Shouldn't take that long. And then that Deadwood contract is down here. It's a little ways away, but I actually don't mind this spot. It's usually fairly open. So I'll probably do what I did last time because I felt like that worked pretty good, where I just grab the winch and kind of drag all the Deadwood trees out to one spot and then use the crane to load them into the trailer there. Because I do kind of enjoy using that crane, and I would like to try to practice and get a little bit better at it. So yeah, I think that's going to be the technique. But yeah, I'll just get these fields done here, and then I'll see you in a little bit. Okay, I got all those cultivating contracts done. That was pretty fun, actually. Didn't even use the GPS lines. I just kind of did all that driving by hand. Definitely some memories of simpler times when that used to be basically all I do. I might go through an entire month where all I do is just cultivating contracts nonstop. That is definitely fun. I haven't really got a chance to do a whole lot of that kind of stuff since I actually got my wheel. It's much nicer to do that when you actually have like a wheel to drive with. I wish I had gotten that earlier, back when we were still doing contracts constantly, because yeah, I think that would have made a big difference. Not that I don't like it now. It is pretty handy for doing everything or driving any kind of equipment, but okay. We'll drop off that disker there. Actually, I'm going to park this one again, and I think I'll grab the Voltra. And we'll just grab that winch and our trailer and head down to that woodlot and start doing that Deadwood contract. I think this contract was 7 trees, so a little bit more than last time. I think we can still fit them all on one trailer, though. It's going to be a little bit more full, but yeah, we do still have that black one over there that I could grab. It holds a little bit more, but not sure if it's worth it. I'm pretty sure we're going to be able to do it all in this one. Okay, yeah, this is going to be a pretty good spot. You can see the Deadwood trees here. They're all kind of right next to the edge anyway, so they're going to be easy to haul out of there. And then we got a nice big flat area. This actually would have been a pretty good one to do with the skid steer, I think. Or I guess I even could have brought the telehandler down here. I could have got the log grapple for that and tried that one out. Because, yeah, this one would probably be a good spot for it just because it's so open. But that's all right. We already got this down here, so I think we'll just do it with this one. Yeah, this should get us enough to get through another month here. I would think we'll probably have to do another one next month because, yeah, we have gone through most of our available wood that came with our woodlot there. So at this point, we're probably going to have to do a Deadwood contract like at least every month until those oak trees are ready. Although I might start harvesting a few of them early, depending. Because I was kind of doing the math at one point, and I think even with that bigger sawmill, I think we have like over 9 years worth of wood in those oak trees there. Something like that. So, and yeah, they only take like 2 years to grow. So as long as we kind of replant them as we use them, that should be more than enough wood to last us forever. Even if we kind of cut a few of them while they're younger. Before they're kind of fully grown or at full volume. But we'll kind of play that by ear, see how it goes. See when we get the that bigger sawmill. I don't know if it's worth getting that thing before we are actually ready to use it or before we kind of have those oak trees ready to go. Just because, yeah, with that bigger one, it's going to be darn near impossible to keep up with just doing Deadwood, or that would probably be the only thing we'd be doing if we were trying to do that. So yeah, I don't really want to get that one until those oak trees are good to go. But I do kind of want to move that because I want to start putting some other stuff in that area. There's a few things around the homestead there that I'm not super happy with the placement of. But yeah, probably not going to do anything about it until we get that new sawmill. Then once we kind of move that out of the way, I think there's going to be a major reorganization of a few things. Maybe not major, but going to add a few things, might move a couple things. Mainly the chicken coop. I'm not super happy with where that thing is at the moment. So that might get moved, and then yeah, a couple other things might get shuffled around a little bit. I'm going to try to avoid doing too much because every time you kind of sell and replace something, you lose money on it. But if it's going to make things a lot more convenient. Might still be worth it because we're always going to have more money coming in. But yeah, I think next month, or I think after I'm done this Deadwood here, that's really the only thing we have to do for this month. I'll run around and check on the animals and everything, but yeah, I think we're going to be pretty much good to move into January. And then in January, we will be selling a lot of products. Might just try to sell everything. And I think we should have quite a bit of money coming in. And we're probably going to use most of that to invest in new land. I might not do it right away. I might just kind of sit on it for a couple months to see if anything comes up in those used vehicle sales. Because yeah, if we get a really good deal on a piece of equipment that we need, like a harvester or something, would be really nice. Then it might be worth picking up. But yeah, other than that, I'm probably going to mainly invest in more land. Because that kind of really helps us earn more money in the long term. We kind of have all the equipment we need. The biggest advantage to buying new equipment is that it kind of helps us do things easier or faster. But yeah, if we get more land, we'll kind of be able to make more money. I'm also curious to hear you guys' opinions on what you think I should do with that piece of land I bought last episode. The place where we put that new shed. It's kind of just to the side of our grass fields there. I was kind of thinking sunflowers, but I don't know. I'm open to other suggestions if you got anything else that might be interesting there. But yeah, I almost got all of these moved over here. This does work pretty good. I wish I knew that you could attach more than one tree sooner. Because that was kind of the main thing or the main reason I kind of held off on getting this winch. Because I was like, well, if you can only do like one at a time, is it really any easier than just like driving the trailer to each tree individually? But yeah, this should be pretty good. We'll get them all into one spot, and then we'll rip those branches off and get them bucked up into two pieces, and should be able to load them in the crane. But yeah, I'll just finish this up, get these loaded up, and we'll go bring them back to the sawmill. And then we'll just double check on everything. But then we'll probably move into January and sell all of our stuff. Get that bank account replenished. Okay, I managed to get it all on there. Starting to get a little bit full. That wider one would probably be a little bit better. Part of that is my not very neat stacking. As soon as you get one kind of crooked in there, kind of screws up the rest of the stack. But that's good enough for now, I think. Should be a decent little chunk of wood there. Not going to last us too long the way that sawmill goes through wood, but should get us through another month, I believe. Okay, let's see how much that gets us. We've got 13,000 liters in there right now. Okay, that was another 13,000 liters, so we're up to 26. So, yeah, we do go through about 15,000 a month, so not quite enough for 2 months, but that should last us into January, no problem. And yeah, we're starting to get some pretty good products built up again. We'll probably end up selling everything next month. I mean, our short planks are not at a great price. They still won't be next month, but we're just getting so many. Might as well sell them anyway. Okay, so the goats still have food. They have a little bit of meadow left, but we'll probably have to feed them a little bit over the winter. I do still have one more hay bale sitting to the side there that we can feed them. And starting to get a decent amount of goat milk built up. And quite a bit of lettuce building up as well. What are we doing for water here? 15,000, so we should be good for another month, and then I'll probably top those up again next month. And then, yeah, January is peak lettuce price, so we'll get all that sold next month. That should be a pretty darn good payday. Still have enough milk in there to last another month. So we're good on the dairy. Pretty good on the chicken coop as well. Yeah, maybe we'll just run this TMR mixer a little bit, make sure that's topped up and that it's going to be dumping while we advance, because I'm not quite sure if it's if I got it running or not. Once we dump it once, it'll kind of continue to fill from the trailer, but so yeah, this dumps and then it refills because there's extra bales inside of that thing still. So just got to keep an eye on the proportions as those get used up. Make sure we're still making TMR and not what do you call it? I think it's just called forage or something. So let's go into our contracts here. We can collect all of these. So that's not a bad little chunk of income. Didn't take us very long to do those. Nothing really else that we want to bother with. So yeah, I think we might as well just jump into January here. Not really anything else we can do this month. And we do have some snow in the forecast as well. So yeah, it's supposed to kind of snow starting at 1, like all the way till 5. So it'll basically be dark by then. So yeah, it's just gonna snow the rest of the day anyway. I think we'll just move to the next month. Okay, I'll see you in the morning. Okay, welcome to January, everybody. It's another new year. And we're getting a little bit of snow coming down. Nice little dusting on everything. And I see in our special vehicles there, it looks like we might have got a couple. Okay, just one tractor. I was thinking this New Holland thing might have been a tractor too, but just a header. But what tractor do we have here? What category? Would this be a large or a medium? This has got to be a large, right? Let's find that in here. That was this one, right? The 900 Vario. Okay, so it is a large tractor, but I mean, the maximum power you can get out of it is 415 horsepower, which really isn't as good as our Valtra, because our Valtra can get to 420, I believe, if it's fully upgraded. So yeah, that's not really a huge advantage there. This one does have a 60 kilometer an hour speed limit, or a maximum speed, which is higher than the Valtra. I think the Valtra is 50, so this would be kind of nice for just driving around. How many hours did this one have? 27.8 hours on it. I mean, it's pretty close to the amount of hours the Valtra had on it when we first got it. I don't know. I don't think that's really worth it. I mean, I am keeping an eye out for new tractors, but this one isn't really any better than our Valtra, I don't think. So I think I'd rather spend like the 35 grand to maximize that engine, or max out that engine upgrade on the Valtra, rather than spending 150 to get another tractor with the same amount of power. But it looks like our dog has decided to go flying again. Surprised he doesn't just start sleeping in that stork nest there. Okay, so I want to run over to the buffalo here. We'll check on them. Make sure they've still got food. See how this TMR mix is doing. Okay, so they still have lots of food in there. Yeah, our mixture still stayed pretty good, so that's good. So I think I'll just leave that for a little bit. We will top that back up in a little bit, give us an excuse to get some more use out of our telehandler there. Okay, so I think one of the next things we're going to do is get all of our products sold here. Because, yeah, I just went through and looked at the prices, and we have really good prices on almost everything. It's basically like the short planks and the eggs that aren't really at max price, but everything else is really good right now. So, yeah, I think we're just going to start selling everything. So I'm going to get the last of this barley dumped into the chicken coop here to empty out this trailer. And I'm going to sell our wood chips first, I think. And we need this trailer to do that, so I do want to give the chickens a little bit more food later on, but that can wait for a little bit. So yeah, let's start filling here. I think this thing only holds about 20,000 liters, so we're going to have to do a couple trips. Yeah, 20,000, so it's going to take 3 trips. I forgot to check where the best price is, actually. Wood chips, farmer's market. Okay. So yeah, like we're a little bit over kind of our predicted max price, so got a lot of wood chips to sell, and that should be pretty good payday. And then I am going to go over and top up the dairy, get enough buffalo milk in there to last like 1 more month or so, because we do produce enough every month that we can always kind of fill it back up. But then, yeah, any of that excess milk, we're just going to sell directly. We'll get that sold, basically sell all of our products. We'll see how much money we end up with, but it should be quite a bit at the end of the day. And then we'll have to kind of decide what we want to do with it. Probably mostly going to be invested into new land, but yeah, we can't really plant anything at the moment right now anyway, so I might just hang on to the money and maybe we'll advance like another couple months while we kind of take care of our other stuff, and then see if anything good comes up in that sales tab. Because it is hard to argue with that. Like if you can get some machines at like 50% off, it's a pretty good deal. So yeah, if there's anything that comes up in there that we could use, it would be nice to grab it. But yeah, it's kind of annoying if something good comes up and you don't have enough cash to be able to buy it. So yeah, it might be good to hang on to a little bit of our money for the next couple months. And then, yeah, if nothing good comes up by the time like March rolls around and we kind of have to start getting back into planting and field work and stuff, then we can invest all that money into land. And if we're kind of saving up our money, we'll have a couple more months of products to sell in between now and then as well. So we should really have a pretty good bank balance by then if we're just trying to save our money for the next couple months. Yeah, the way this chicken coop is kind of sitting in the middle of nowhere there. I mean, it made a lot of sense where it was when I placed it there, but yeah, it's getting to the point where it's less than ideal. It's not the worst spot, but I would kind of like to place it somewhere else. I would also kind of like to get a new shed or a different shed. Well, actually probably an additional shed. I kind of like the one we have and where that is, but I think with a little bit of reorganizing, we could maybe put another big shed over here. And then we could actually park our kind of truck and trailers inside and kind of get everything that we have parked under shelter. But it might take a little bit of reorganizing first. But we'll see. That's going to all be a little ways off. We'll get all this stuff sold first and then see where we are at, how much money we have, and we'll kind of make some decisions from there. Okay, well, we got everything on there. That is quite the load of products. Um, and I really should have strapped that lettuce down sooner. It was such a good stack, and then tried to put a couple more on top, and everything started wobbling. I tried to jump out of the skid steer and strap it down quickly, but then I ended up strapping down the forks as well, and then I couldn't get it out of there. So, yeah, it was a pretty good looking stack up until that. Still not too bad, but that lettuce could be a lot neater. So yeah, that is going to be a pretty solid load of products. That is a lot of stuff on there. So most of this is going to go to the farmer's market, but we are going to go to the supermarket first because the lettuce and the mozzarella are best prices there. So we'll get that stuff sold at the supermarket, and then yeah, everything else can go down to the farmer's market. Well, except for the goat milk, that has to go to the dairy, but that's the only place we can sell that. I can definitely feel that there's some weight on this thing. It's accelerating a lot more slowly than normal. So yeah, this is the notorious flipping corner. I've upset it here a few times, so we'll make sure we go nice and slow around this one. Just to make sure. So we do not want to be having a wreck while we have this much product on here. But yeah, I mean, this is why I wasn't super concerned about getting a telehandler, because you can stack this thing pretty good, even with a skid steer, if you do it right. I mean, if I did a couple things differently, I could fit even more on here. But yeah, that was basically getting to the limits of the reach capabilities of that skid steer. If we wanted to go much higher than this, we'd have to use the telehandler, but I don't know. We're not going to be going too much higher than this very often. There's a lot of products on here. Okay, so that mozza sold. That's almost 25 grand right there. And then sell all of this lettuce. Another 105 grand worth of lettuce. That is pretty darn good. Oh, now my truck is understeering. It does that weird thing sometimes when there's a lot of weight right above the hitch. It just, yeah, it won't turn properly. It just kind of like understeers and like kind of plow forward. It won't let me, yeah, it won't let me maintain like that full lock on the steering. Chrome big pack. Let's check that sale there for a second. That's some kind of grass type thing. Is that a baler? Oh, is this the big baler? Is this the one with the silage additive? Oh, it is. This is the one I wanted to buy. How many hours are on it? 40 hours on it already. Ooh, we might have to buy that. We might have to buy that baler. That was the one I wanted to get anyway. And that is a pretty darn good deal. It is pretty high hours, but I don't think it really matters too much for a baler. But yeah, I guess we'll just get all this stuff sold first, and see how much money we have. But yeah, I'm pretty sure we're gonna buy that thing. But we'll get everything sold. Get back to the yard first. We still have buffalo milk we can sell as well, and we still have barley to sell. So this isn't even going to be all of our income right here. So yeah, almost at the farmer's market. One last corner to be careful of here. Let's see what we get. Okay. Pretty good sales. That's what, 150, 160,000 worth of wood products there, basically. So how much? We're like 60,000 away from having 500 grand. I don't think we've ever had that much cash in the bank before. 500,000. Let's see what we get out of this milk. 88,000. All right. We are over $500,000 in the bank. That is definitely the highest balance we've ever had. Oh man, that is pretty awesome. We are a little bit rich here, and they finally got lucky on that sale. Finally got the exact piece of equipment that I wanted to buy. I guess the only thing would have been nice if it was a slightly lower hour, but I don't know. I don't think it really affects the yield because, like, I know with a combine, if it's damaged too much, it will kind of start to reduce the yield, but I don't know if that really matters on balers. I mean, I guess worst case scenario is we just kind of repair it before we start every harvest. Try to keep it fully repaired as much as possible. So yeah, I think we'll sell this barley as well. Might as well. I've already taken a bunch out for our chickens. So our other little trailer has got barley in it, and the chicken coop is topped up. So I don't think we have to worry about food for them. I took out like more than enough, so we should have lots. So everything that's left in here, I think we can just sell. Okay, we'll take this over to the grain mill and get it dumped, and then I think there's still a little bit left in there. Trailer's not quite big enough to get everything. Okay, back at the yard, almost 650 grand, so doing pretty good here. That is a lot of money in the bank. So our barn is still full, but we're down to 8,600 liters in the mixer here, so we will have to get that topped up here again soon. Okay, let's take a closer look at this thing here. So yeah, 40 hours, pretty significant. 245 horsepower requirement, so that might be a bit on the big side for our AgroStar. I mean, our Valtra will be able to do it. I think the Valtra is 280, so the Valtra should be able to run it no problem. The AgroStar is only like 220, which is a little bit low, but it probably still would be able to run it, maybe just not quite at optimal speed. Configuration, what is, oh, bale collect. What the, oh, I guess maybe so you can like stack, or it'll kind of like store a few at a time, and then you can drop off like, how wide is that? Maybe it holds like 3 at a time, I would guess. And then I guess if you're like manually stacking them, maybe that would be easier, where you drop kind of 3 at a time instead of 1 every so often. That kind of makes sense, I guess. But I think we'll leave that for now. Because I mean, if we're getting the auto stacking wagon, it's probably not that much different. I don't know if it would actually save any time. So we'll leave it off for now, and we can always add that on again later. I guess we'll start it with some twine, might as well. And then, yeah, we're definitely going to get that silage additive tank as well. Oh, wow, that's a huge tank. Compared to, like, I remember the one on, like, the forage wagon was, like, a tiny little tank. But that thing has got some pretty good volume to it, actually. So yeah, I mean, it kind of sucks that we're gonna not even be able to use this thing for a few more months because we kind of just finished grass season. But yeah, this is the one I wanted to get because it is like basically the biggest baler in the game. Yeah, I mean, all of these ones are fairly similar. It would seem like these ones basically look exactly the same, other than like a different color paint. But then like even these ones, like they all kind of seem to do the same thing. Basically all the same, just depends what brand you want. But then this is the only one that's kind of different in the fact that it's the only one that lets you actually add a silage additive. So then yeah, you get like a 5% yield bonus when you're doing silage. So yeah, I think we might as well buy it. Yeah, we'll add that silage additive tank and let's buy it. All right, let's jump in the Vultra here and run down and check it out. It's definitely a lot bigger than the little round baler that we have. So we can kind of unfold it, I guess. Is that it? Just unfolds that little back thing. Oh, jeez. Pay attention to where you're going. That is pretty sweet, though. I hope that makes baling a little bit easier. I mean, it's kind of a catch-22 because I think the baling itself is going to be faster, but and yeah, we'll have to get a different wrapper as well. And then there's no like square baler wrapper that can go on the front of a tractor, so I won't be able to do my double wrapper method that I have been doing with the round balers. I think like the square bales are slightly bigger as well, so I probably won't have quite as many bales to do, so we'll save a little bit of time there. But then yeah, the auto stacking wagon is a little bit different size. It only holds 14 instead of 24, so that might take a little bit longer on that side as well, but we'll see. So yeah, because I'm not sure what's going to happen. I don't think I'm going to sell my other baler yet. I'm going to wait until I actually get to try this thing and see what it's like before we fully commit to it. But let's see if we can get... Okay, we finally have a use for our silage additive. We bought this years ago, and it's just been sitting here. But we finally have the baler. Okay, so that full pallet, or well, I guess it wasn't quite a full pallet, but that only got us like a third of the way full, so we're definitely going to have to buy another one of those at some point. But yeah, for now, I think I'm just going to park this thing because we can't really use it right now. Won't be able to use it for a few more months. And yeah, I'm going to hold on to all of our other stuff for now. And I'm not going to buy the other stuff either until we actually need it, like the other wrapper and the other bale wagon. Because you never know, we might get lucky with those and they might come up on sale in the store as well. So no sense in buying them at full price if we can avoid it. That looks pretty good. So yeah, we'll drop that in there for now. And I guess actually, I meant to do this as we were going by before. Let me check. So it is a little bit damaged. I mean, it's not too bad, but yeah, let's take it back down to the shop and get it repaired. Okay, so $2,000 to repair it. That's not too bad. Okay, I think there's one more thing I'm gonna do while we're here as well. Okay, let's actually repair this, and then I think I'm gonna upgrade the engine in this thing. We kind of wanted to do it for a while. It's yeah, 33,000 to get the fully upgraded engine, get us to 420 horsepower. We've got plenty of money to do it at the moment. Let's max this thing out. I don't really plan to replace this tractor for a long time. I would like to get another tractor, but I think we're going to keep this one around, so we might as well get that bigger engine upgrade. There we go. Let's see if we actually notice any difference in power here driving around. It might not be very apparent when we're just kind of moving stuff around like this. Probably notice it more if you're actually like using an implement or something. Although it kind of feels like maybe it accelerates slightly faster there. Got up to top speed a little bit faster maybe, but that might just be my imagination. But yeah, it should help a little bit once we actually start doing work with it. Not that this thing couldn't handle anything we threw at it before. 280 horsepower was fine for pretty much all the stuff we needed, but at some point here we might end up getting some like a bigger cultivator or bigger seeder or something, so it'd probably be nice to have that higher horsepower eventually. I'll just try to get this as far back as we can without smashing into our mower too badly. So yeah, pretty happy about that. We finally got ourselves a square baler. So I guess we'll see how good it is. It is going to be like another 150 grand almost, I think, to get the bale wagon and the square bale wrapper. So we'll have to keep an eye on those. It would be really nice if those would come up in the sales tab, but I'm not going to hold my breath. So we'll have to try and keep enough money around to be able to do that. Worst case scenario, I guess, is if we start the harvest and we don't have the bale wagon yet, is we could kind of manually load them. That would be an option, I guess. Especially with the telehandler, that would probably make it relatively easy. But yeah, just kind of circling around, taking a look at everything, seeing if there's anything else we need to do. We definitely need to go top up that TMR, so probably go do that now. But let's get some more fuel. Oh, I should probably refill that fuel tank as well. We're down under 2,000 liters, which means we've gone through well over half of it. I'll just come back over here and yeah, let's top this thing up. Put another 3,300 liters in it for $5,500. So yeah, I might as well fill it. I always try to take care of that kind of stuff when we've got lots of money. Okay, so next on the agenda, let's get this TMR topped back up again. Get our mixer wagon full and give this telehandler a bit of a go. I probably won't do that first person view very often because it's I think it's probably not as nice for you guys, I would think, but just kind of wanted to try it out one time. But yeah, it looks like we don't even fit in here with that thing up, so although I guess we don't technically need to. We could sit out here and just kind of go like whoop, stick that in from right outside. Okay, you guys can have a little bit of food. I guess one of the things that would be nice with the Merlot is that we wouldn't need the John Deere here. We could basically just use our telehandler. But then it would be a little bit more of a pain maybe because you'd have to like detach from here and then go load everything and then hook back up and move it back in. Whereas, I don't know, we could almost just leave this John Deere hooked up here. This thing is a little bit heavy for this little tractor. Once it gets full. We don't have much weight on the front end. We might have to put a weight on the front. But I mean, just to move it back and forth here, even though it's pretty underpowered, it should be good enough. Definitely gets the job done. Okay, well, we're all pretty much good to go on all of our productions here. We might need to, oh yeah, we're down to 8,000, so probably do another Deadwood contract. I might head down to the woodlot at some point and try to clean up some of the scraps around there. But yeah, I think I'm just going to call this episode here. Got quite a bit done today. Bank account balance is looking pretty healthy. Got a ton of stuff sold. We did get two new pieces of equipment, I guess. We finally got ourselves a telehandler and we finally got ourselves a square baler. So yeah, kind of excited to use that stuff more. It's going to be a few months before we actually get to use that square baler, but it should be nice once we do. And yeah, I'm not quite sure what to do with the rest of this money, so I'm probably just going to take some time and think about it. Yeah, we do have lots of options, but I'm still thinking kind of expanding our land is one of the better ideas for now. But yeah, I think I'll probably just sit on this money for a couple more months. Hopefully something comes up in the sales tab that'll be helpful for us. And if not, we'll just continue to save our money. and then we can buy a bunch more land before the next harvest season starts. So yeah, I'll end this one here. I'm not going to move out of January yet because we do still have to add a little bit more deadwood to the sawmill there, but we'll do that in the next episode. But yeah, hope you enjoyed this one, everybody. Got quite a bit accomplished today, and yeah, definitely liking the look of that bank balance right now. So let me know what you guys think we should do with that. But yeah, hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.